Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. Igama lam Somi, and I am not with my husband today, but instead I am with my sister. Introduce yourself.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, and she's my younger sister. So the reason why I have my sister on the channel instead of Umsi is because a lot of people have requested that we talk about how my family reacted or responded to the fact that I was dating Umsi. And so today my sister and I are going to talk about that. And then we're also going to include clips of my parents when they share their experience of Umsimelelo and how they got to find out and how they felt and all of those things. So we've got some things that we've written down on my phone, and I'll keep on looking down to just take note of those things. Yeah, we hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, go. Let's start.
Are you gonna start?
No? Okay, fine.
Sure
So
we're recording?
Yes, we are recording.
Okay.
So, okay, I don't remember much about like how I told my family of my relationship with Umsimelelo, because we're not really that open at home when it comes to boyfriend, girlfriend stuff. So you kind of do your own things in like hiding and in secret. But obviously I couldn't hide mine forever because we got married. But I don't know. Wait, how did you find out? Because I know I wouldn't.
You weren't hiding it well. That's the thing. She wasn't hiding it well.
I guess I wasn't hiding it well because I also wanted people to find out so that I wouldn't be the one to break the news at home. Listen, I was how old? I was 20.
I was still in high school though.
I think 21, 22.
When was it? Which year was it?
2010.
2010. I was in grade 10. I was 16. You were 22.
Yeah, 22. So I was around 22 when I was dating Umsimelelo. And I think a part of me wanted my family to find out for themselves without me telling them, because I had I was doing my fourth year.
You were old enough, I guess.
Yeah, I was old enough. I was doing my fourth year.
But you were shady about it.
Girl, of course I was shady about it. How am I supposed to not to be a shady? You shady about your stuff too?
I don't have stuff.
Open a YouTube channel and we shall share. Anyway, I was 22 and I was working that time. I wasn't reliant on my parents for anything, but I was still living at home because my parents wouldn't have it any other way. They wanted me to be at home up until I got married. So I was still living at home, so I still had to hide my shenanigans.
Your shenanigans are very boring.
Whatever, it's fine. I'll be the boring one. How did you find out I was dating someone?
It was very easy. Like we'd usually end up in the same bus. Like on my way home from school, I'd be in the same bus as her from. Were you coming from work? No, you weren't coming from work. You were still coming from varsity.
I'd be coming from varsity, but sometimes I'd be coming from work.
No, you started the job while you were dating him. Remember?
But I started working in March, ne?
22.
And we started dating in April. So
well, you were still going to his place before you started dating him.
Because that's when we're just reconnected.
If you say so. But what I remember is
she's so annoying. She's so annoying. I don't know why I'm giving you a voice on our channel.
Instead of getting off at our stop together, she would leave her bags with me. Her laptop bag, her book bag, her textbooks, everything. Her whatever bag she had, her jacket, her coat, her skaftini. She would leave it with me, and she would get off at another stop, which is like such a walk away from home. And then I would get off at home, and then that would be probably around past 3 to 4. Then she would only arrive home as if she's coming home from work or school at around about like 7 p.m. And it busted. Pelang was 6, by the way, but okay.
Whatever.
And that's how it was so obvious. I was like, where is she going? Every day. I'm not talking about Wednesday, this Wednesday, that every single day.
So did you
of the week.
Like what came to mind when I kept on getting off at the same?
It was so obvious. I was like, she's got a boyfriend. I hadn't met him yet, but okay. I was also a snooper.
What? You snooped?
Yes, man. I saw your diaries and stuff. So
you read my diary?
Not all of them.
What did you read? I'm about to kill her on camera. What did you read?
That is between me and your diary.
Oh, Jesus.
But I was a kid. She was my older sister. You always, And she had this thing on her door that said, "Do not enter." So that's an invitation to enter. I was a kid.
You were not a kid. You were in high school. You were old enough to know not to go through people's diaries.
You were very secretive.
So everyone is secretive. You're secretive.
You went through my stuff too. So
when did I go through your stuff?
You went through my phones.
Okay, yeah, I did. But
exactly.
You were being shady that time.
I wasn't being
you were being shady. So I
but this is about you. So anyway, that's how I found out.
Okay, so obviously I was getting off at this random bus stop every day, and then I'd only get home much later. Yeah, well, Msi and I used to, I don't know, I think after we reconnected, like we said in our previous videos, we had this like connection where we'd sit and talk for hours, and sometimes I wouldn't even realize that it's dark outside, and I'd be like, oh snap, it's dark, I'm gonna be in trouble, I need to get home. So we'd sit and talk for hours on end.
If I can still remember kahle, kwakupha towards 2010. Elixesha uSoso ephithizela inyuka esehla ndithe ngqaba utheni engabambeki apha endlini. Ndimane ndiba nequestion ndibuze kutata uqale nini uba ukazi lo usisikazi ungoyiki unyuka aye kaSpa abuye ngo6 nango7 especially apha ewinter. Amaxesha mosabetha amaxesha betha kumnyama bamnyama msinya. Fumanise uSoso uyawufika endlini nge-something to 6 seqalisile uba mnyama uyazihambela. Sizibuze ba inokuba wenziwa yintoni libimkhipha busy. That time ke utata kakho kunye nami ixesha elininzi. Tata naye usemsebenzini ubusy iziteksi into yonke nje apha ebomini. But ihlale ndimane ndimbukela. Kwade kwanini kanene. Kwakho ngenye imini wafika apha eNgxamini. Wathi mama ndiyenyuka ndiya kwaSpa. Oh, kwaSpa ngelixesha hayi kukho into endilibele ndiyothenga i-airtime. Qoma mandumyeka yothenga le airtime. Hayi emke. Tata afike kanye emkile njalo abuze sebebuyile abantwana ndithi ke mna kuSoso sayothenga i-airtime. Athi hayi bokhanda umbone nje nisuka kwaSpa. Ndaqomba ikhona inkathazo apha iqale khona. Qha ke nami ke ndaqomba mandithule ndithi cwaka izazivelela mos. Izinto azifihlakali kuphela. Hayi ndayibukela lento. Hayi abuye umuntu afika ahlala erumini yakhe ngoku akasenayo la social life kunye nathi ufike ehleli kunye nathi. Ixesha elininzi uzivalela erumini. Sithi kuseparlamente pha kuba kaloku ixesha elininzi uhlele efonini. Yafowuna. Kutheni itata lo muntu wakho singazode simbone ba unomntu. Bizana lo muntu simbone. Kuhlekwe ke ibe into engenamsebenzi. But mandisithi inyani izazivelela wena. Hayi kumane kuhlaleka ke. Tata uyakhumbula manje ngenye imini umisa ikhumbi apha efanana la khumbi fana neyakho. Yintoni kanene la Volkswagen? Yintoni kanene eza moto? Andizazi ke mna ke imoto. Yazomisa apha ayindiqobe ndijonge imise pha apha ku-10 ijike le moto ijonge ngapha kuhle usomkazi. Ndibuze ngubani athi hayi ngulamntana wala chomi yakho. Ndibuze eyiphi chomi yam? La chomi yakho yasebhasini. Ndibuze eyiphi chomi yam? Athi hayi la chomi yakho mama yasebhasini ndandikuxelele ngayo imali ibulisa. Kanti ngumntana kaMamtshawe. Usasithi mem ke nononzondelelo simbiza bangumem kuba sasikhwela sonke ibhasi ufike ke sonke ke kuba ke yena wayiteacher. So sasimbiza umem ndithi oh ngilamntana kaMem. Ndithi oh uyaqhuba ngoku. Athi hayi uyaqhutyelwa mama. Qome ayinamsebenzi but ingadibanisa into zibekwa ba kukho into eqhubekayo. Kwala ngenye imini waphinda wafika apha. Wathi mama yakhumbula ngondandithetha ngala mfana. Hayi it was before then bandiphosisa. Ethetha ngalomfana wakwaBoltina. Mama la mfana wala chomi yakho. Ndibuza utheni? Hayi ulantu kandiva kuthiwa ufumene i-car accident. Yo, hey hayi ndothuka. Ndisanda mbona ke kaSpa. Esisiqushuqushu ke unyana. engena kwi-video shop mna ndiyothenga ezo nto zishotayo kulate ngaloo mini and imoto wayesehla kuyo andiyazi noba yeyiyakhe okanye yeyikatatakhe I think yayimoto emhlophe andiyazi noba ucango walivala okanye wayehla sebaleke ke ekhushe ezi video ngena ke kule lantuka kule video shop ndiqombe ngoku undixelela ngalo mntana wetshomi yam athi hayi umntana etshomi yam ufumene ingozi yemoto heyi hayi ndothuke ngabi namsebenzi ndiqome ndithi ayishem ndithi ayizuyombona mntanam ndithi ndimazi kakhulu umama.
Then a relationship started brewing. Obviously, I mean, if you spend that much time with someone, I was spending every single day with him, talking. Every day after work, I'll go and see him. And then also, when I get home, I'm on my phone all the time in my room talking to him. So when did you actually
meet him?
No, not even meet him.
Like, no, it's him.
When did you know it's him?
Okay. Well, the thing is with Upudumsine, I've always known him because he was a neighbor, basically.
No, don't say neighbor like he was next door to no.
He was like, okay, he was in the same neighborhood. He was a neighbor then.
Fine, but geez, it makes it sound so awful. Like as if he was a neighbor, like he's next door.
It was like a 15-minute walk, okay?
Okay, he was in the neighborhood.
Yeah, well, I knew him because of that. Nah, but then I hadn't met him now that he's in a wheelchair, yeah, because I knew him while he was able-bodied and all that. So I remember the first time, I didn't really see him. I kind of just saw a glimpse of him. And she was coming back from his place. She had just bought a desk from Macro. Yeah, she had just bought a desk. And you know those desks that you assemble yourself, so it came in this cardboard. She dropped the cardboard on her foot.
Let me tell the story.
So she had to be taken home by him. Late at night.
I had to go to hospital.
Yep. And that was the first time, I think it was also the first time
my
your parents
actually got
saw
to
him.
See this boyfriend.
We didn't really see him, but we saw there's somebody over there. So that was the first time.
Let me tell the people what actually happened. So that day, I think it was a Saturday.
I don't even remember. It was at night.
It was a Saturday. I had gone out to buy myself a desk for my room, and then when Umsimelelo went to go drop me off at home, it was late, ne? So as I was opening up the boot of his car, so he had a combi back then, but a different one. So as I was opening up the boot. So you open up the boot and then the desk, it kind of slid out of the boot and then it fell on my foot. And then I think I was nervous because your parents opened the door because they saw a car standing outside and they opened the door. And I think I got nervous and I freaked out. So I opened the door, the boot, and this desk slid out and it hit my foot. It landed on my foot.
Yeah.
So, and then my foot got swollen and then I had to be taken to hospital. And that's how my parents, I think, actually got to see.
Yeah, I think that was everybody's first time kind of like...
Did you guys ever sleba about me?
I'm pretty sure we did. Of course we did. But I mean, I don't remember what we said. But of course, especially knowing your mother. Like,
yeah, do you know what my family does? My family, they'll make fun of you. They will make fun of you.
They'll make fun of you. Even things that aren't even funny. Like, they'll find a way to make it funny. My mom, actually. Let me not say my family. My mom.
But dad will join in as well.
Yeah, my dad is a sly type of person. He's like not a man of many words. You'll get to see that. He's not a man of many words. But my parents.
So my parents would be very sneaky, and you would know that. Oh, okay, these ones they're talking about me. Even though
they talk with the eyes.
Yeah, they talk with their eyes. Even though they're not gonna say anything, but you can tell that they're talking about you. So the visit to hospital for me, my parents took me to the hospital. So the visit to the hospital, I could tell that my parents were like fishing, trying to find out. Who is this guy that brought you home at this time and all of that and all of that?
The side eyes and everything.
Yeah, but I wasn't going to tell them. I think then...
yeah, that was the first time everybody met. But I was the first person you told about him.
Wait, did I tell you when we got engaged or did I tell you before?
Girl.
No, okay. I'm asking the question.
You told me before, obviously. He was the one that got me my first job.
What? I think kwaku-2010 njalo mane siza pha ulantuka lo mfo fike zi-flowers hayi ndibone ezi flowers ndibuze zizantoni athi hayi mama thank you ntontoni ndingazazi ke zinto thank you ntontoni zibizwe ke bazezantoni but iqome mandiziyeke izinto zabantwana. Hayi ke kwenzeka nyani ngo-2010 njalo. Athi uthandokazi noZinhle noKhanyi bacelwe yile friend yakhe. Sebizwa ke ngokuba yi-friend. Nami ke sendimane nisithi le friend yakho xa usiya kule friend yakho kwaSipawu ubuya nesonka. Athi bacelwe yile friend yakhe mabayojiva estadium. Ntoni. Ndithi ke mntako omphi umjivo? Athi hayi mama bazawujiva. Ndithi uthandokazi wakhe wajiva. Athi hayi mama bazawujiva bazawurehesa ntoni and then bazawuya ke ngokutanca uzawubabona babaredi bakwazi ukuya ke kuyoperformwa eLantukini estadium. Hayi safika nyani nanku umkhwenyana ulapha. Hayi ke kwenzekile ke nyani ke thina ke mosingomama nabazali into yethu. Uye ujonge ungajongi only apha phambi kwakho ulindele okuhle nokubi. Ndijonge ndifumanise into kokuba hey hayi sana umntanam uyonwaba xa ehleli nalomfana. Mbona ngeli xesha imane siya usabela pha ewe ndimbona uba ngathi unayo indawo ebambekileyo kuba si-around. Hayi ndibane ndidlala unolitye bengathi andimboni ndijonge ngapha ndilahlekisa amehlo nje ndiwabalekise kuba ndifuna be-comfortable naye kuba yinto yabo le thina sizosapota bona.
Why don't I remember any of this?
2010, so the World Cup job that I had.
Oh yeah, the
That's
World
when
Cup
I met
thing.
him. Like, so, okay, this is how I met him. It was during the World Cup time. It was about to start and everything. I don't know what connections Boomsy had and whatnot. But then he was like, yo, here's a job for your sister. What. So I was 16 at the time, 2016 at the time. And I remember she was like, okay, well, he got you guys this job for me and my cousins and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. We were all excited. We're kids. It's our first job. So that's literally when I met him. That's the first time I met him. I went to go meet him. And she was like, okay, you're going to meet him. He's in a wheelchair now. And I was like, okay. And I met him. He was the same old person, I guess.
Yeah. So, yeah, my parents also came. Okay, basically there was the fan parks, ne?
The fan parks.
The fan parks that were used for the World Cup, during the World Cup. So, at the fan parks, there were girls that would dance for entertainment and all of that.
No, not like... You made it sound like we're strippers.
No, man, not like that. I mean, like
young girls, like...
Dancing.
1, 2, 3,
choreography.
4. Yeah.
So... Simalelo was like, yo, your sister can do this, and now with her cousins, which is our cousins. So they were doing that. They were dancing at a fan club, a fan park, and
you really want me to be a stripper?
When they started dancing, my parents were like, oh, okay, they want to come and see, and they want to come show support. And it was so awkward for me because I'm like, Simalelo is there, my parents are there. This is just so awkward. Our friends are there. This is just so awkward because now I have to act natural and I have to act like Umsimela and I aren't dating, we're just friends, because eventually my parents would know that where I am. I'd be like, I'm going to my friend's house. Like when I'm coming home late, they'd be like, where do you come from? Like, I come from my friend's house. So they knew this friend, but they didn't know that we were dating. So
they did know. They just didn't say it.
I think they did know, but I wasn't going to be the one to tell them.
Yeah, I think that's another thing at home. It's like you say, my friend.
So, how do you think other people reacted? When people are around me, they might give me a certain reaction.
Yeah.
But when they're around you and I'm not there, maybe you might pick up other vibes. Like, is there anything that you think people, or even at home, that people were like, Tanogazi, what is also doing?
You know, there was never that. I think... Well, the people at home, the people I knew, there was never that. I never experienced that haibo, so. No. Or, Tanawazi, like, what is so? No. I never. I think everybody was just, I think also because we kind of knew him also. We already knew him. And even the people that didn't know him, he's got an energy, like his own energy. So,
yeah, I think
there was never anything that's like, no.
Yeah, I think Nam, of course, I knew that people weren't going to give me like their honest opinions or honest views of what they thought was happening between us. But no one ever came to me and said, girl, are you sure? Girl, you're making a mistake. Or girl, this and that. No one came with any of that negative energy. So I appreciate that very much from my friends, from my family. Even though later on, now that we're married, yeah, well, I would hear people say, "Oh, so and so was saying this about you. So and so was saying that your marriage would fail. Blah blah blah. So and so, the biggest one. So and so said that you're in it for money and all of these things. So these are things that I hear, and they don't matter to me anymore. I've gotten used to them. But in terms of my family, I never got a sense of, okay, my family is not supportive, or my family feels sorry for me, or whatever the case may be. I just honestly feel like my family just accepted my husband, and that's it. In fact, more than just accept, I know my family loves my husband, especially my immediate family. They've come to love my husband so much, and I'm so appreciative of that. My parents, my siblings, I don't have to feel like I need to protect him, or I need to shield him from what people are gonna say, what people are gonna think. All my family, in fact, even extended family, I haven't really had someone where I feel like your vibes are just making me feel uneasy.
No, I think everybody, he's easy to get along with. He's easy to talk to. He's got a great energy about himself. There was nothing ever where, like, I feel like umdu that was gonna have something negative to say, it would have been their own personal issue, because there's nothing about him that gives you a negative vibe.
Yeah, and I think also, even if there were people that did have negative vibes, they didn't find a gap. Yeah. Because our family is so...
Yeah, no, we're very protective of each other.
We're very protective of each other. So I don't think, even if someone did want to say something, I don't think they found a gap.
No, they would have never been given the chance.
Yeah, they would have never been given that chance. So that's one thing I appreciate about my family.
So sended by ezinye izinto nyani fumanisa abanye abantu baza ne-negative opinions zabo ba hayi lo mntana usemncinci uzoba frustrated phakula relationship ntonto abone omnye umuntu ntonto, and fortunately usafunda usenodibana no professor. Dithi guys, sentethe into kokuba zininzi wethu izinto kwenzekile ke nyani ke samane sithetha ke lento nakwifamily aba bantu ba close kum. Oyena mntu wandipha amandla ekhaya ngusister wam dadwethu Mpuma Human Stock. Ndathi ndomxelela, yho, indlela wayeyivuyela ngayo, wathi cha umntu asekhaya, as long as umntanam is-safe and happy, wathi akho nix, nam laa mfana ndimbonile, akho nix, myeka yotshata. Senthetha uba isupport endasifumanayo, my brothers nabo ndabaxelela, ndiqomba ndifuna bothuke xa bembona, ndabaxelela. Fortunately ke umntanam ustrongo ke naye, ngeli xesha ndimane ndisiya Human Stop ndiyopay ivisit ekhaya, bebakhona naye afika athethe, bambone uba indlela akhululeke ngayo. Even my brother in Pretoria, uBukmondi, wayeselapha e-East London, I think ngoko, ne? Yeah, ngathi wayeselapha e-East London, ndamxelela. Wasuka all the way from East London weza, wazoyisabela, wathi ndiyayisapota mntasekhaya, akho nto. Wathi nathi kwezethu iindawo sikuzo sifailishile, sisezi-failures. Usoso xa echuze olu hlobo and ubona uba umntanakho uhappy, uyathandwa, uyathanda, masimyeke. Ndangathi ndi-comfortable ke nam ke ndazixelela into kokuba, well, akho nto ndinophinda ndiyenze, mandiqole. Notata wabe eqolile. Notata ke naye akayekanga ke naye kwiitshomi zakhe emsebenzini. Sorry, ndinale short breath. Notata kwi-friends zakhe apha emsebenzini emane ethetha ke exelela abantu ntonto, nabanye ke bayi-discourage yonke le nto ba, heyi hayi lo mntana nto, untata ke ubonisa nee-pictures zakhe. Awugqiba uba mncinci olu hlobo, mhle for into yokuba makayozifaka kwi-relationship elolu hlobo, kuweske ngoku xa izawutshata. Senthetha uba bantu bam, ezinye izinto zezikaThixo izo zethu, elethu ilizwe likwazi ubona ngaphezu kwamandla kaThixo, kuba kaloku yonke le nto yena uThixo wayibona kwasekuqaleni, and zange nelanga elinye ndike ndithi wayefike apha ekhala. No.
So we've covered who was the first member you told. I told you, obviously. We've covered the afternoon daily routine. Okay. I didn't cover the cooking part. So Msi, and he lived at home, I lived at home. So sometimes I'd want to treat him to a dinner or a lunch that I cooked. So sometimes on a Sunday I'd cook at home, and then
She stole food from her
it's not stealing
parents
food.
and her family's
sharing.
mouths.
You're
She
so
stole
dramatic.
food from our mouths to go feed a man. This is the part I want her parents to
Wow, you are so dramatic. She was.
see. She stole food from our mouths.
You keep on saying this like it's supposed to have some sort of effect.
Because it came from our mouths
So
to feed a man.
whatever. So what had happened is I would cook on Sundays at home, and then because I wanted to treat my man, I would put in a skaftin there and then walk.
She would walk the walk of 15 minutes.
I would walk and go have
By
lunch
the time
with
she
my
gets
man.
there, the lunch is cold, guys.
So what? There's microwaves. There are microwaves.
Love.
See, there are microwaves. So I'd cook on a Sunday, and then I'd walk and go spend lunch with my eat lunch with my husband.
With your boyfriend.
With my boyfriend back then.
Yes.
Yeah. What else can I guys?
The engagement. You didn't want me to tell the story of the engagement.
Wait, I'll tell it now. Look, I'm just trying to. How did you break it down to the parents?
She didn't break
I
it down.
didn't break it down to my
It
parents.
didn't need to be broken down to them.
My parents kind of had to see for themselves, because I was not about to tell them
Yeah.
I have a boyfriend. Even when I was 22, I was not about to tell. And my situation was like, I would have to be like, I have a boyfriend and my boyfriend's in a wheelchair. I wasn't about
It's too many questions.
It's
a lot of conversation, so
Nah.
just let them see it for themselves and let it be organic like it was.
Yeah. So I preferred that they see for themselves and they deduce what they want to deduce from it. Extended family's reaction. My family reacted fine. Even my extended family reacted fine.
So abantu babona ke ezi invitations zihanjiswayo so ndandithe kuye makandibikele, so that izonika some of ii-members zefemeli esizawudibana nazo phaa kwilanto etinarha. Nyhani ke ndazinikezela. So ngeli xesha ke ngokuhleliwe kwifemeli kubekho lo ndizawutsho ndithi yayi-comment off. Athi yhu hayi sana umntanakho ayikho into ayileqayo phaa, uleqa imali. And kutsho umntu akakho that close apha efemelini. Athi akanawuzathi emhle kangaka yotshatela phaa ishuri kulaa femeli ntontoni. Ndabuza dani kule yam femeli kukho ntoni? Asiphangeli thina, yena akaphangeli. Ndathi fortunately enough umntanam zonke izinto lamfana anazo naye unazo. I-qualification yawuhluka nje ngaloo qualification uba yena enaloo lanto ke enaloo degree yakhe, omnye mhlawumbi enediploma. Otherwise akukho nto nam endingenayo nomntanam angenayo, kanawude ayoleqa imali ngathi kokwabo uphuma ebunjeni. So sente uba yayizizintetho nje ezazityhafisa abantu, but ke kundla ngothiwa uboku bayeka abantu bathethe. Zange ndatyhafa, zange ndaphelelwa amandla, and ndithanda ntwinye umntanam wabaprova wrong. Each and every day, every night kubakho into umntanam baprova wrong, usahleli lithandweni. Oko umtshato wabo wawubekiwe ngaloo date yabo, ngaloo 24th kaMeyi.
Acted fine. So seeing a future with someone who was unemployed and recovering from an injury. So Simelelo, when we started dating, after his car accident, he was let go from work because he wasn't able to work. So fortunately, where he was working, they still gave him some of his benefits, but they let him go. So technically he was unemployed. But I still dated him because I knew that there's more to him than...
He's a smart guy.
Yeah, there's more to him
bounce
than
back
that.
also.
I knew that he was going to bounce back. I knew that was temporary, and I knew that was just God redirecting his life. That maybe you don't belong in that company and you shouldn't be working for that company. It didn't really bother me. It didn't really feel like, oh my God, I'm dating someone who's unemployed and oh my God, the world is falling apart.
And I don't think you felt it also.
I didn't feel it. Also, I was working. I was earning good money. I had a good job at the time as well. So,
and he helped you with the interview.
Yeah, he was on.
I remember because she was on the phone while I was watching TV, preparing for an interview loudly while I was trying to watch TV.
Whatever, he helped me get employed, Okusalayo.
I'm just saying, I remember that because you were disturbing my peace.
Whatever, Tanokazi. Jeez. So yeah, being unemployed, I knew it was very temporary. It had its struggles because disability is expensive, guys. So he would have like months where his medical aid funds would be exhausted and he would need medication. And I was okay with getting some of that medication on my medical aid because I was not using my medical aid at all. So I'd get some of the medicine that he needed with my medical aid because I knew that this guy, this is not the end. There's far more out there.
I think you've already told yourself that like this is it. So for you, it wasn't a matter of it was more of like, this is it. We're gonna make it work.
We just need to make it work, and we need to push each other, and we need to get to the next level, and that's exactly what happened, and that's what we did. So him being unemployed, it really was. It was a bummer, you know, because it was something that he was always concerned about, like, oh my God, who's gonna employ me? But Umsemelelo always knew that, like, when he talks about his CV, he says when he looks at his CV, it's gold. His CV is gold because even after his injury, he went back to school, he specialized, he did so many certifications. He knew that he was investing in himself so that one day when he goes back into the job market, that someone would look at his CV and see gold. Just like he saw gold when he looked at his CV.
Yeah. Can I ask something?
Sure.
So there was a time you guys went on, is it vacations or staycations? All the time?
Yeah.
Was that after the time like he got a job and everything?
No, that was before. But even before Msemelelo got the job, got like a permanent job, he was always hustling. Like even the 2010 thing.
Vacations.
He was always hustling. He was always hustling. And that's what I've always loved about him is that he's got a lot of potential, and he doesn't just sit on his potential. He uses his potential. He's a smart guy. And he's a driven person. So even before he was employed, he was hustling. He was making 10,000 here, 10,000 there. You know, we're always hustling, and we are good at saving. So we'd always save, and then we'd go on a holiday. So yeah, let me see. Who were you concerned more about, Mama or Dad? Okay, I'm guessing who was I more concerned about in terms of telling that I was
Dad.
I don't know. I think I was more concerned about Mama.
No, there's no way, and I know why.
Okay. I guess now Dad is much softer.
Yeah,
but
back then
Dad was.
Well, okay, he was always soft to me back then. He's only harder on me now.
Yeah, no. Back then, you know, I mean, because I'm married, he can't be hard on me.
Yeah.
But he was much stricter and much more firmer. So I guess I was afraid of my dad finding out.
No nonsense, man.
Yeah, I guess I was afraid of my dad finding out, and then him giving my husband a tough time. Yeah.
Asiboyika.
Cutting short.
Ingaba yintoni?
Well,
That is close.
ndizawuqala kule-part yesibini because ke ootata awayijonganga yonke le njongo mama. Le part yesibini leyo kuzowazisa ngomtshato. Mna kwazisa kwawo umtshato ndaqonda endaweni yoba umntanam abebethwa leqanyiwe sehle ikwekwe urayithi ke ndawo ahlala kuyo. Well, ukwazisa kwawo umtshato wawo, I was sort of happy. Zange ndibe ne-regrets. Bazisa umtshato wawo wathatha baqima ndiseqanga wabo.
Bangeniswa ngumnikezela.
Usoso wayesebenza nalandakayo
P College. eJeffreys Bay.
Bondo.
Umuntu ngokusetshadile.
Ngoku ngale mini ndivasa imoto. Nangu sasa weza ngemoto weza yamisa nemoto apha sekhawash wancokola. Man, yacaphuka nxa ndibona uba heyi kudala wencokola ngoku. Yasuka ndaya phaa kuloo mfo ngathi fondini mntanam lo utshatile utheni ndizahambe simmiselo esithubeni ahlala simotweni esithubeni kodwa sengoku kanye ndamgosa ngokwam. Hayi ke ethepti yabona uba yabanetshikane kodwa yamthatha yamgodusa. Zininzi ke izinto endinondisileyo apha kumketya apha ngumkwenyana. Ebengumntu okhululekileyo, ebengumntu osympathetic kwezinye izinto, wayenceda ndingacelanga. Nantanda kaTetemko.
But then again, Umsemelelo, I don't know, man. I don't know. That guy is so blessed because it's like when he met my dad, or when my dad actually met him and spoke with him. Now, this was during the Lobola negotiations and all those times. My dad just melted. He just melted, and that hardness that my dad has, because I've never introduced a guy to my dad or a man to my dad. I've never done that. But if ever ingati you are now starting to have boyfriends, you would see that my dad would just, he was not about that life. So I knew my dad was not about the life of boyfriends and whatever. But when he met my husband, he kind of softened up. Yeah, after the engagement, even during that time, you know, my dad softened up. Yeah, and he's been very, I don't know, he's got a very soft side for Umsimelelo.
Yeah.
And they've got a very good,
well.
they've got a very good bond. They've got a very good bond.
Very good.
That story that he tells in that video, in those video clips.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'll tell the story. Maybe it will be part of this, or maybe we'll just edit the story out and include it in another video somewhere. So now, after we got married, like I said, my dad is very serious about marriage. Even my mom, but my dad is super serious about marriage.
My dad is serious.
Especially when it comes to us. So I was married to Umsimelelo at this time. I think Danding Makoti, if I'm not mistaken. So it was a few months after we just gotten married. And then where I was working, I had to go visit a client. So I wasn't using my own car to go visit the client. The company had a driver who would drive us to the client. So I was in the car with the driver. So I'm sitting in the front seat with the driver, and he's driving us to the client. He's driving me to the client. So as we're driving, I happen to see my dad at a car wash. And so I tell Uput and I say, hey, Namutatam, and I wanted to say hi. So my dad comes around to the window and I say hi to him because we had stopped there. I think we'd stopped for petrol or something, I'm not sure. So my dad, I say hi to my dad and I talk a bit with my dad and so forth. And then my dad walks off. And then we're not moving from the garage. We're still standing at the garage. So my dad is standing there by the car wash and is thinking, well, if these people are at work, why are they still standing at the garage? He comes back to the car, but it doesn't go to the side of the passenger where I'm sitting. He comes to the driver's side and he asks Uputi to turn down the window. And he rolls down the window and he's like, "Lo mntana ufuna ntoni apha?" Okay, guys, we'll include subtitles because I don't know how to write to say it in English.
No, there's no way.
Yayazi ba unkosikazi womntu lo ufuneka esemsebenzini. If awuzokwazi umsemsebenzini mhlise ngoku emotweni ndizamthatha mna ndimsemsebenzini. Awukwazi uvese kuhamba umisa nenkosikazi yomntu.
Yep. That is
Guys,
my dad for you.
I was so embarrassed.
That's my dad. My dad is serious about me.
I was so embarrassed because that's a colleague. It's not like he's a friend that I was just driving around with or whatever. I was so embarrassed. I'm like, Tata, dipangele, like I'm doing my work. This is how we do work here. And it's like, if you guys are not gonna move right now from this garage, I will take you and I will go drop you off at work.
Yeah.
And I was like, Puti, please, let's just go.
I think, wasn't the guy having a conversation with somebody else or something?
Oh, he was having a conversation with somebody else. Yeah, the guy had
That's
stopped.
the thing that was like, my dad was like...
And the guy was having a conversation, the driver was having a conversation with another person outside the car. And I was sitting in the car waiting for him to finish so that we can go. My dad was not having it.
Nope.
I remember calling Msimelelo and I was on the brink of crying. Because I'm thinking like, this is so embarrassing. This is a colleague. Like, how can my dad do this? But Msimelelo found it fun. So let's talk about the engagement. What do you want to talk about the engagement?
No, I just want to talk about... Aren't you going to tell the story of how you got engaged? Because like, I will tell that. I want to tell
Like
how it got to me.
Engagement or when I got home.
Okay, when she got home, let me tell it.
Oh, guys,
So
when I
this
got
girl,
home.
she goes on a staycation to a hotel, like all cutesy. It wasn't a special occasion, was it?
No, it wasn't a
Wasn't
special
it Valentine's
occasion. No,
It was just in J.
It was just in J. Pakati, I don't know. I
Yeah,
can't
they
remember.
just went on one of their, like I said, vacations. So they went on one of their vacations, and then she comes home and she's freaking out. She's like, I need to show you something.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, what?
I'm
She's
getting
like,
butterflies
promise,
just by
don't tell
thinking about
anybody.
it.
And I'm like, what is it? She's like, okay, I need to show you something. Like, are you pregnant? Because obviously that's the first thing you're going to think. And at that time, okay, as much as my sister and I, we didn't like each other, I think the time she started dating Upumsi, we got along to a point where sometimes we'd sleep in the same bed when we didn't have to.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of got close. But I'm not saying I would do that now.
Please, girl. You would even eat out of my dish. I'd eat out of your dish.
Okay, so anyways, it's a box. And you can see it's a ring box, like the small box. And I'm like, and she's like, oh my God. And I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, oh. I'm like, why aren't you happy about this?
Yeah.
It's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to say to Mama? Don't tell anyone. And I'm like, oh my gosh, can I wear it? I was
She's
excited.
mad. She was so excited. Look,
I was so excited.
for me, I think, okay, so Msamelelo asked me to marry him, and I'll get into details maybe in another video.
Yeah, no,
and then, of course, I said yes. And then the morning after now, we're supposed to go home. And I started getting nervous because I'm thinking, oh my goodness, how am I going to tell my parents? Like, do I go to them and say, Mama, Dada, I'm engaged? Like, how do you tell your parents when you didn't even tell them that you had a boyfriend? So I was freaking out. I was
excited.
Yeah, she was so excited. And I was freaking like, how do I even word it? Like, do I tell Mama or do I just show her the box? Do I show her the ring? Do I write her an SMS? Like I said, at home, we're not very open. We're not very open.
Well, now it's a little...
It's a bit different now. No, not because of you, but
I
because...
switched up the rules up in there.
No, but because my parents have grown a bit older now, so they're more relaxed. So, yeah, I was freaked out.
I was so excited.
I was freaked out. And then I think did I go tell Mama? How did I tell her?
Well, you were like, okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And I was like, I'll
You
tell
told
them.
her.
Yeah.
You told her.
I was like, I'll tell them.
Yeah.
I told her, Mom. I think I went with the box.
And she was like, whatever.
Yeah, at first, like, I think my mom was also afraid of telling my dad because she's like, how is she going to tell my dad? Because I went to her with the box and she was kind of like, didn't give me the reaction I had. I was expecting like, oh my God. So yeah, she was kind of like, okay. And then I think later on she called you and told you that Upumsi needs to write a letter to Tata and everything. That's when she was like, okay, she started getting excited after that.
Yeah,
Because I think in the beginning she was also kind of nervous, like, how is she going to tell my dad? Because my dad is protective over his daughters. Like, he's super protective.
I think also, for my parents, also, I don't know, I think there was a part of them that wanted to know, like, of how sure I am of what I'm doing. Like, are you sure of what you're getting yourself into? Because now if we're talking marriage, we're talking forever. So
and my parents are very serious about marriage. Like, my dad...
ndibuze uyazazi phofu uba it's a long term journey le uzawungena kuyo kunye nomntu ololu hlobo, ndiyibeke olo hlobo. Athi ewe mama, ndibuze are you happy wena? Because ke thina mna ndihappy ngombona kwam, ezintsuku emane siza apha ndiyambona, and fortunately ngumuntu endimaziyo. Bendikhwela naye ebhasini efunda, ndingayazi noba bese-NMMU ngoko yayi-UPE. Efunda ndimbona umama wakhe fortunately notata wakhe ngabantu endibaziyo, so andabona problem. Hayi athi ke hayi mama mna ndi-comfortable. Ndithi if u-comfortable, u-happy as much as nam ndi-happy mntanam, ndisitsho nje kuba kaloku kukho abanye abantwana abane-affairs kunye nabantu aba-100%. Ufumanisa into okokuba e-100% enjalo izinto azenzayo ngu-0.0%, angafani nomntu ongenazo ezi functions yena anazo. Ufumanise uba u-useless ngentetho evakalayo. Ndathi mandike ndiyinike itry yonke le nto, ndingagemblishi ke ngumntanam, but ke kuyo yonke le nto ndibona uba mna inothando. There's this thing kuthiwa luthando behind it. Hayi ke nyhani ndabokhululeka, ndasebeza ke ndixelela utata, yayi tata, well, nam nawe apha endlini njengoba sinormal, life wethu awukho normal, yeka umntanam aqhubekeke nobomi kunye. Yanjalo ke into kaSoso. Ndabona uba notata uyayi-approva, ayonto yokuba yinto yam ndodwa. Andiphelelanga apho. Uba ndiyakhumbula ndandisecaweni that Sunday. Acele ke umfundisi wam, acele umama uNdabambi makathandaze. Kusemva kwethuba ke le nto yalo mntana ke seyilapha kum ngaphakathi. Acele umama uNdabambi asithandazele ku-11. Yeyi ndothuke as usual and normal, wonke umuntu ongumama ngoku uyiqhelile inkonzo, akusoze ungothuki xa kubizwa igama lakho ku-11. Hayi ndithandaze. That day ndandibiza umkhwenyana, ndathi ndenze Thixo as from now ndize igama lakhe uba ngumsimelelo. Ndathi ndimamkele. If I may tell you, kuphuma kwecawa, andiyazi ngoomama abangaphi abaza abazozisondeza apha kum befuna usabela le nto yalo mntanam, uthandana nomntu otshileyo and all that, and kukho into zokokuba ingathi bangatshata, besenza ezo interviews zabo. But ndazixelela into okokuba ndigqibile mna noThixo wam, because ke ndize apha ndazoyiphalaza phakathi kwenginginya, andiyifihli and andiregret, and I will never regret into yokokuba ndimkhulule umntanam, simkhulule sobabini notata ba makayotshata, ayotshatela kumsimelelo.
I don't even know what we were talking about.
I don't know, but
the engagement.
Yeah, that's
So that's how I got engaged, and that's how my parents got to know.
And your family met him.
And my family met him officially when we were engaged, because he had to be introduced. And yeah,
the rest is history.
The rest is history.
And they lived happily ever after.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are expecting like a lot of drama.
No.
And a lot of...
I don't want to lie,
like
we are blessed to have the family that we have.
Yeah.
They're very accepting.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what they wouldn't like. If something it feels right to you.
Yeah, they support you.
Yeah,
they support you.
They support you.
They support you. If you are content and if you are happy with the decision you've made, you're not hurting yourself, you're not harming anyone else, then they support you.
Like, they're happy
that's
with
just
it.
My parents.
It is
that's
what
how
it is.
They are. And I'm grateful to have parents like that. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. And I think we're about to sign out.
Yep.
So let's do it the way Msimilelo normally does it. You're gonna be him.
No, you be him. You
No,
started.
you be him. I can't be Somi kaloku.
Gangamusi.
Oh my gosh, do you even watch?
I do.
Do you even watch?
I
our
do
videos?
all the time.
How does it
Every
sign
single
out?
one. I don't remember.
It'd be like
Somi,
Somi,
Umsi.
signing
Exactly.
out.
Okay.
Now do it.
Utando
Somi.
signing out.